Areas of research for new antibiotics. This is actually one of my favorite topics in the class because it's really interesting to me. Over time, bacteria mutate and change, and they evolve resistance to the antibiotics that we use, and so we're always looking for effective new antibiotics. So let's look at some of those new areas of research. First, better targeting. Instead of killing off the whole bacteria or the whole pathogen, maybe we can get more precise antibiotics that target specific characteristics or specific molecules. So even if we don't have something that kills that bacteria anymore, maybe we have something that stops it from being able to infect our cells. Second, look at our normal microbiome more closely. There's a lot of microbes there, and all of them take up space and compete against other microbes, and a lot of them make their own antibiotics to fight off other microbes. One example is Lactobacillus gasseri. It makes something called lactocillin. If you remember back to talking about the microbiome, Lactobacillus, this is found in the vagina. This is a vaginal bacteria, and it has been found to be effective against something called MRSA, methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, which is an extremely dangerous resistant strain of bacteria. This is an example here of some of that lactocillin, and you can see that gray area around it where it has killed off this resistant strain of Staphylococcus aureus. Another example is a species of Staphylococcus lugdunensis found in the nasal passages, so inside the nose of some people. It makes something called lugdunin, which is also an effective antibiotic. So little discoveries like that are everywhere. Number 3, exploring exotic ecosystems. Places like coral reefs, jungles, wetlands, they have tons and tons of microbes, extremely high biodiversity, and microbes that might make chemicals and make antibiotics that help kill off more bacteria. Number 4, using computer analysis of microbial genomes. So if we know about a species that already makes an antibiotic, we can trace that back to their DNA code, and then we can search for similar genes in the other DNA codes of other bacteria. And we say, well, this DNA code is similar to an antibiotic we already have. Maybe it's another effective antibiotic. And that gives you a starting place to do tests and figure out what chemical that makes and what it's good at fighting against. Number 5, searching for more organisms. So the vast majority of our about half of our current antibiotics come from a single genus of bacteria called Streptomyces. Most of the others come from other bacteria and also a bunch of different molds and fungus. But lots of other animals and plants make antimicrobial chemicals. A couple of examples, amphibians, like these little frogs, they have a bunch of toxins on their skin that they produce naturally, and these could be effective at killing bacteria or preventing bacterial growth. This is a snail found on coral reefs. It has over 100 different toxins and chemicals. If it injects it into you, it can be deadly. They've found some of them are powerful painkillers, more powerful than morphine. Some of those could also be antimicrobial or antibiotic and effective at killing bacteria or other infections. And finally, last one, number 6, is using bacteriophages. Bacteriophages are viruses that infect specific bacteria. They can only attach to and cause an infection in certain kinds of bacteria. So using a bacteriophage to kill that one disease-causing bacteria could be an effective way to make it really specific, really targeted, and only killing off the bad bacteria without harming good bacteria and without harming the host. So those are the 6 major areas where there's research for new antibiotics.